Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. Please do well to subscribe, like, comment and share the video.
So today we'll be drafting a basic block for a girl child of 7 years old. And these are the measurements we are going to be working with. I'm going to give you a standard way of drafting a basic body for a girl child. So let's get started. The first thing this is going to be our start line. The first thing we are going to put over here is our start line. I'm going to place half an inch here, half an inch this way, and I would connect this way. So this serves as SH, our shoulder line. So the next thing we are going to place is our half length, sorry. We are working with HL stands for half length. We are working with a half length of 11.5. Are we there? 11.5. So we are going to place it right now. 11.5. This is 11.5 here. In order to get a straight line, you place it on both ends. 11.5. So I would connect it. So this is our half length, 11.5, and we'll label it HL. Hope we can see that. So the next thing I want us to determine is our biggest circumference, our biggest body circumference. Now this is CH. CH stands for our chest, round circumference of the chest, and it's 24. Our waist is 22. As you can see, the chest is bigger than the waist, which is 22. So we are going to be working with our chest. So what we are going to do is chest divided by 4. 24 by 4 will give us 6, plus 2 inches sewing allowance. 2 inches sewing allowance, it will give us 8. So we got 8. What I'm going to do is here, from this start point, this part that is facing me, I'm going to measure 8 inches at the shoulder line and 8 inches at the half length. And I would connect the two of them. What does this mean? This is trying to tell us that every of our measurements is going to be centralized here. This will help you not to waste your fabric nor your pattern paper if you know how to do it this way when drafting a pattern. So every of other measurement is going to be within this block that we have here. I believe we understand. So the next thing we are going to place is our neck width and neck depth. From our measurements, we are working with a neck width of 2.5 and a neck depth of 3 inches. So we will place it this way. Our neck width 2.5, our neck depth 3 inches. This is for round neckline. You come this way. See that point where I got 2.5? You place that same 3 inches. You have to make it even. Then at this point, make sure you have, can you see? This is 2.5. So we are working with this point, this, and here. So we are going to create a block there. So after getting this block, the next thing you're going to do is at this angle 90, you come up by 1 inch, this way. Whether you're making an outfit for a kid or an adult, this is a standard way of getting a round neckline. So you're going to use your curve right now to connect from this point to this 1 inches and back to this place. Watch what I will do now. You keep adjusting it till you can connect those 3 points. Perfect. This is our round neckline. The next thing we are going to place now is our shoulder. We are working with a shoulder of 11 inches divided by 2. We have 5.5. We'll place our 5.5 for our shoulder line. This is 5.5. At this 5.5, I'll come down by half an inch. For a baby, for a little girl, you slope by half an inch. For an adult, you slope with 1 inches upward, depending on what you're making. So you connect it this way back to your 2.5 inches neckline. Hope we are together. The next thing we are going to place is our armhole. We are working with an armhole of 5.5. You can see that. So from this shoulder sloping of half an inch, you will come down with 5.5. So this is 5.5 for our shoulder line. Here, remember from here to here is equally 5.5. You have to make sure it's accurate and even. So coming down here at this other 5.5, you measure this way to make sure it's at 5.5. See 5.5 here? You now make a straight line. This is for our armhole. We are trying to create, am I blocking the camera? Sorry. Trying to create our armhole. This is how I draw mine. Can we see that? Armhole. Now the next thing we are going to do is our armhole trimming. The way we do armhole trimming for an adult, we probably do it for a baby. So at this point, you get the midpoint of this 5.5. The midpoint of this 5.5. Yes, this is the midpoint. Like we know in an adult, we probably do this. So it's the same thing. To avoid any form of puffiness, any form of bulging at this armhole area. So at this point, you come in by half an inch. Is that taken? To get a perfect armhole too, at this angle 90, you go up by 1 inches using, sorry, where is my curve? Using your curve, you're going to connect this point here up, and this is what we have. This is what we have, our armhole curve. Then at this armhole line, you're going to place your chest measurement, around, so you place your chest measurement of 6 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance. You can use 1 inches depending on what you want, but for a purpose, I'm using 2 inches. This baby has a rapid growth. She has the tendency of growing faster in a little space of time. So I'm placing the accurate measurement of 6 inches plus my 2 inches. Can you see why I measured 8 here? Can you see? So everything is within this circle. Now, the next thing we are going to place is our waist measurement, waist circumference. 22 divided by 4, giving us 5.5 plus 2. We have, so we have 7.5. So here in our half length, we will place 7.5. And this is 7.5. Then you connect this way. You connect it this way. So the next thing we are going to do is to place, it's optional, it's either you're placing it on your pattern paper or you place it when you're drafting on your fabric. I like placing it on my pattern paper because I often forget when drafting on my fabric. So, and what I'm talking about is our shoulder allowance. 1/2 inches shoulder allowance for joining the front and the back shoulder. So from this, our shoulder sloping, you come up here by 1/2 inches, come up at this neckline by 1/2 inch, then use your rule and connect. So this is going to serve as the allowance for joining front and back block. So this is it. There is one thing you can equally do here if you want to input a dart. It's an optional thing, whether you'll be inputting a dart or not. If you want to input a dart, it's a simple thing to do. Get their bust span. You can use 2 inches, 1.5, and you will place it this way. At this half length, you will place your, I'm making use of 2.5. Remember, this baby is 12 years old. Okay, in that way, you're going to extend this line. This is our bust line, our armhole line where we placed our bust measurements to guide you on where this dart is going to stop. So this dart is going to stop. Okay, before that, just place the 2.5, make a straight line this way. Now from the bust line, come down by 1 inch or 1.5. Let me make use of 1.5. Then at this point, you take 1/2 inch from both sides, 1/2 inches from both sides, and you connect it back to this 1.5 you came down. That is you trying to create a waist dart for the front block. This way. And if you want to work with a dart, you're supposed to replace this dart here. We took 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch here, which means we are having 1 inches allowance we need to replace. So you're supposed to come here now and place 1 inches, then connect it back to the bust. This is what we have. Our front block ready, perfectly drafted. So let's cut it and use this front panel to cut our back panel. Watch me, watch how I'm going to cut this part. You're supposed to cut out this that allowance, close it up. So this is what we have, our front block. This is what we have. I'm not going to cut the front neckline yet. After drafting the back neckline, I will cut it out, so that for the sake of our beginners, so that we'll not get them confused. So this is it, our front block. We are going to use it and cut our back panel. This one is not going to take much of our time. So I have secured my front panel to this new pattern paper I brought here, making sure what I have here left is up to the allowance I would want to leave for my zipper. Let's measure it. What I have here is more than 2 inches, and I would want to use 2 inches for my zipper allowance. You can use 1 inches, 1.5, but I prefer to use 2 inches here. So what you do is you extend this shoulder line this way, extend this, our half length, this way. Now at the shoulder line here, you place your zipper allowance of 2 inches. At the half length here, I placed my 2 inches and I've connected using my rule. So this is my zipper allowance. This way, this is my zipper allowance. I hope you can see that this part from this end, where the front panel ended. So why I did not cut my front neckline is to be a guide on creating my back neckline. I want to use a high neck at the back. The inches you're taking here at the back neckline is determined by the kind of neckline you're working with. Me, I'm working with a high neckline, so here I'll be placing 1 inches. This is 1 inches. I will use my rule and connect it. So this is my front neckline. My back neckline. I'm going to extend it down to this zipper allowance because I'm going to cut it off like this. After which I will now cut my front neckline. Every other thing stands like here. The shoulder, the back and the front shoulder goes this way. The only difference we are going to have is here at this armhole. Remember the front armhole, we came in by 1 inches. By half an inch to trim the front neckline. So what we are going to do is that we are going to replace that half an inch here for the back neckline. Then using our curve, we'll connect it back this way. Can you see? Front neckline, front armhole, back armhole. There is always a difference. Every other thing remains the same. So it's that simple. Let's cut it together so you understand. For the neckline, remember I've not done anything to the front neckline. So I'm going to first of all cut the back neckline this way. Hope you can see what I have. The shoulder allowance, I'm cutting it this way. Then for the armhole, remember the new armhole we have now for the back. So I'm cutting it this way. This other part, everything remains the same. So for the front neckline, we can now cut it out. Yes. And our front and back panel is ready. So you're going to transfer this darts here. See how I'm going to transfer it now? I'm tracing all the points. I've gotten this point to be this. I got this one to be this to be this to be this. So I'm going to connect it now. Like this, and this. Can you see? Our front and we have come to the end of this tutorial. I didn't cut off this part. Thank you for watching to this point. Please, if you've not subscribed, do well to subscribe and turn on the notification button to know when I'll be dropping my next video. I'm going to use this pattern to sew a 3-layer gown for a baby, for this baby. this girl child of 7 years. So please turn on the notification button to see when I'll be dropping that tutorial. We are going to do it together. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Bye.